Welcome to the second parter of this small little mini-series of Transformers Titans Return Titan Class Trypticon. In the previous video we took a look at the deluxe action figure, which was full tilt, and his little Titan Master, Necro. Now we will be taking a look at the big mofo himself, Trypticon. He comes in 3 modes, and all of them have their pros and cons, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But if you have noticed that I am short on breath right now, it's because this is a delayed review due to complications that I had previously when I was trying to go with the first take on this review. Unfortunately, Trypticon had an accident, and there were some things that I needed to correct. When I originally received this action figure, he had a arm situation. His right arm was not pinned through all the way upon assembly at the factory at Hasbro, and I had to take this whole section apart and remember how everything was engineered, the locking mechanism and all that, and I had to remove the pin and slot it all the way through, and this time make sure that it lined up properly with each hole, so that way it's a fair-on connection, because without it, I could have broke Trypticon had I not noticed that immediately. And I have complained to Hasbro about that. Nothing will be done about it because the problem has been resolved and there's nothing wrong with Trypticon now until what happened earlier, which I already have taken care of off of camera as well. His tail broke. This is going to give eventually, and it's just going to break. As you can see, it's all the way up. It's not locking in like it does down here. You heard that click. It won't lock in anymore. Fortunately, when I say broke, I mean the gears just came undone. I had to go in, tighten up the spring a little bit, super glue the gear into place on the tail portion here. There's not enough glue to squeeze out, but fortunately, I come prepared. So I have a toothpick here. We try to force a little bit more on. Oh, I heard that snapping. I did not like that sound. All that glue that's sticking out right there, just oozing right there in that hole. Have to clean that up. When I go to lift this up, it creates a little bit of a gap here. So I know the gear is turning and it's getting ready to lock into the next position. As soon as I bring it all the way to the top, it should sit flush again. Watch that gap. See? So it's locking. Even though there's no screw in here supporting this bit at all, but there's still plenty of screws throughout this whole tail, which will keep it intact. So the problem has been resolved. I've tested a couple times before making this video, so I know for certain that there's not going to be any trouble involved with this video. There shouldn't be, outside of me just rambling onward. So enough with that said. Let's go ahead and get to this mode. This is his base mode, which is also called the Nemesis Command. And it's very reminiscent to the original G1 action figure. It looks pretty much spot on, only just upscaled, to be honest. So for a modern take on this design, it's pretty cool. There's quite a bit of change, but as it stands, it's very close as it can get to G1 accuracy from the toy. You can bring these up to make these towers here a bit taller if you want. I just choose not to. There's also this tower here, makes up the front portion of this base. You will notice that there is a placement for a Decepticon symbol if you have one, but unfortunately, even though this figure does come with 158 stickers, all the Decepticon symbols happen to end up on the side of Trypticon's head, which is back here. So if you have any repro labels, you could fix that problem very quickly. But as it stands, still pretty cool. I like what's going on here. A lot of panel work, a lot of detail, and a lot of slacking of paint. Not much to really say about that. Everything that should have been paint was made up with sticker application. And this area here, most of all, really needed something. So it's only got 2 stickers, and that's for both sides. And they are nice looking stickers. The nice foil shimmery effect that they got, the reflection in the light is pretty cool. But when it really comes down to it, that's basically all you get for this ramp section. All this is just plain. Maybe Hasbro could have took a little bit of the budget and just painted up maybe just some of the line work here for the ramps going all the way down. That would have been appreciative. It's something I can do on my own, but I really shouldn't have to do that. I don't think anyone should have to, but whatever. That's the whole reason we got customizers out there, right? I mean, it keeps them busy. So, as it is, it's not bad. Some really nice detailed stickers, as a matter of fact. They look pretty cool, especially with the ones here going all the way down to these core bits, which are the hips to Trypticon's legs, which is pretty cool. You also have your little ramp sections here that can be clipped onto like leader class Titans return action figures, which unfortunately I can't showcase because I don't have Super Gemrai anymore. I sold him off, and he was the only leader class Transformer figure I had from this series and Transformers Legends, whichever one you want to say. So that's unfortunate, but whatever. It is there, so you could apply Soundwave and Blaster, Sky Shadow, and Power Master Optimus Prime if you had them. So there's an option. But outside of that, not much else to really say about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the features on this guy. Not much. Not much going on here at all, to just tell you the all honesty, because what you see here is basically what you get. There is a place, like I'm showing off here, for full tilt to be sitting basically on display, which is nice. This ramp section here is pretty smooth, so he will roll across it pretty good, like so. But again, unlike the original G1 figure, there is no launching pad for him, no button to push where this would actually push him down the ramp. It's whatever. It is what it is. I guess they didn't want to make this too kiddie-ish, but here's a good side-by-side comparison of Trypticon in his command base compared to the deluxe figure here. So there you have that. And there's a bunch of sections here in this base mode where you can plug in the little Titan Master dude or any other Titan Master figures you may have. So there you got that. There's a little section here, which is an open gateway to get inside the base, which, you know, you can do that, but there's no peg system on the inside here, so nowhere to tab him in, so they'll just fall over very easily. And if you're not careful, there's so much of a gap back here, so much clearance, that the figure could get lost back there. It's very difficult to get him out without having to flip Trypticon upside down and just shake him out. And you really don't want that to happen, so be forewarned about that. Funny thing also, there happens to be these pegs up here on the top of the tower for, yeah, that's hilarious. He's king of the world, so there's that. Not much else to say here, unfortunately. You do have some working wheels on the bottom. If you wanted to, you can get the base moving on the go if you so choose, so it is pretty mobile, even though it doesn't say you should do this in the instructions at all. But anyway, it is an option. So that's pretty much it. There's not much else to really feature here in this mode. It's pretty simplistic, but it's pretty satisfying as all hell, to tell you the truth. So, okay, why don't we go ahead and take a moment. Let me get my camera readjusted so we can get on to the next mode here, and I can do this all properly without wondering whether or not this is all on camera here. So we're about to get a little compact in the next mode, which is his Nemesis Starship Mode. And that's basically it. There you go. There's the Starship base mode, which is okay, simplistic, not much to really cry home about. Basically, it would have been nice if these wing bits here were maybe a little bigger and also had a capability of actually tabbing in somewhere in this mode, because when you go about messing with this ship, unfortunately these are free moving as all hell, and they'll just go like that all the time. Still though, for displayable purposes, you're not really touching anything, so it looks pretty good on its own. Once again, you still got the entranceway here into the base, but this is like suicide here because there's no doors whatsoever, and if Trypticon's flying out in space, this is definitely where you don't want to be. Because, yeah, you get sucked out into the vacuum of space. Hilarious. I know, I'm taking it a bit far, but hey, I'm just trying to state the obvious here. I wouldn't want to be in that position. So, yeah, you can also take a little full tilt here. You tab him in like so up here, and you can get him to click into place, and so easier said than done. There we go. Click that up, and there you go. Now this is the complete Nemesis Starship. It looks nice. Take the little Titan Master dude, find a place to peg him in just so he can go for the ride, right? So, yep, there we go. Now he's basically manning the ship, and it rolls pretty good when it's got enough clearance, but again, it's like barely anything down there. You've got your wheels, but they really don't hit the ground as much as the orange bits down here for the hips to Trypticon. They actually are raised out just a little bit more than the actual wheels. So if you ain't got this completely flush, you'll know for certain whether or not you're actually scraping that plastic. And you definitely don't want to do that because I've already done that, and it's unfortunate that that had to occur. So anyway, still, if you wanted to, you can also bring out these bits here, and you can have longer cannons. So there you have that. And you know, it's a pretty cool base, both modes, and I really do like it. And I know that the kibble back here is kind of obvious for this being Trypticon's head, but this is supposed to be made out as Trypticon's head for this mode here because of the orange glowing eyes, which is very cool. I really like that. But having said that, I will give them credit where credit is due. Hasbro was really ingenious about this, making Trypticon's his ton, the silver gun in here is actually used as the thrusters for this Starship mode. That is pretty cool. I did not think that over. That is very, very awesome. I like that. Also in this mode, which I will go ahead and remove full tilt here, just to show you real quickly, there is a cargo bay, as instructed. You bring this section up like so, and it should lock into place and stay in position. If it doesn't, well, that means you got loose hinges. But anyway, you can take full tilt and slide him in there, and you can close this back up. I do this for storage because this is really the only way that I can get this figure to fit in this room anywhere around here. I have to keep him in this compact Starship mode. I can't put him in base mode. I can't put him in his dinosaur mode because his tail sticks out too far. This is the only way I can get him sticking over by this wall because he's a big boy. He really is. But outside of that, there's not much else going on here. I'll let you get a good look at all sides and see all the sticker applications that's going on here. And yeah, we do get a little bit of some makeup for what happened here with this area in his base mode. When it comes to Starship mode, we get additional support of sticker application here, which is underneath the ramps. So pretty cool, not bad. We got cannons here on the front. These are obviously some of his leg bits here, which just fold down into cannons, which works. So he's got guns here, he's got a gun here, guns here, gun there. So he's locked and loaded. And not much else to really say about this mode, so let's go ahead and get this guy all set up for his third and final mode, which is the piece de resistance, none other than the dinosaur mode. Okay, now that the camera is repositioned to a better liking for your viewing pleasure, let's go ahead and transform Trypticon into his giant dinosaur mode. And now, with the magic of video editing and basically going through the steps of fixing this figure, and then I lock it into place for dinosaur mode like so. So there we got that. Then clip that back into place, and there is the full-on assembly to Trypticon in his dinosaur mode, and he looks sick. In all honesty, this is sick. Completely sick. I love this. So cool. So awesome. He's well worth it. 150 bucks well spent here. True, he could have used maybe some motorized gear or something like the original G1 figure, or maybe some light up eyes or something like some of the Titan class figures that we've gotten so far since the start of it with the Generations line. But whatever, it is what it is. It just wasn't in the budget. And for what he has to offer, he is pretty cool. So again, for features, you can bring these up for shoulder cannons. You can also extend these bits again to make them longer if you so choose. I guess that makes them more menacing looking, I guess. So bring those back for storage again. He has opening and closing jaws feature there. That's nice, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's go through another feature with his head and take the Titan Master here. And there's a slot back here. This is very much like the G1 figure, only just a bit different with the Titan Master gimmick. So you want to tab the Titan Master in, and when you do that, it flips up the horn bit, and out comes his silver gun here, just like the original G1 figure. So there you go for pretend play. That's a nice feature. But having said that, he's stuck. Just one second. Okay. You don't really need the Titan Master to do this. It's so simple. You can actually get your finger in here and push down, and that will also release it as well. So, kind of useless, but whatever. It's the principle of the thing. I had to show it off anyhow. Trypticon also has some places in this mode where you can actually peg in the Titan Master. I never really have done this, but yeah, there you go. See, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, there's some areas here on his head as well. I'm sure there's areas on his arms, his legs, everywhere. Maybe even the tail, some bits. Yeah, there actually is. There's one right here, way back here. But yeah, it is a thing. So, yep, it exists. So, okay, let's do some side-by-side comparisons. And let's go ahead and bring in, obviously, Deluxe Windblade, so we can get a good size look at a deluxe action figure compared to this Titan Master, or, you know, Titan figure. So there's that. Here's a Voyager class Optimus Prime who happens to be here as well. So there's a good look at a Voyager scale figure compared to Trypticon. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, I do not have any Leader class Titan return figures to showcase with this guy. So I'm just going to have to make up with it with my precious gem, which is Fortress Brave Maximus of Transformers Robots in the Sky / Car Robots. So there's a good look between these two, and as you can see, for a Titan class scale, he's not bad. He's right up there with his chest, almost at the head, just a little off. So there's a good look at that. And I'll do one more for S&G, just because. Here's a look at Trypticon with Godzilla, who is missing his tail right now. I've got it put away in storage because there's nowhere to actually display this figure either in my room. So as you can see, for a size comparisons between these two, this would be an epic battle. As a matter of fact, I wish Toho would take consideration about making a Godzilla versus Trypticon feature film. That would be nice. I would definitely purchase that. So yeah, pretty cool. Not much else to really say about that as he goes and knocks over a couple of boxes in my room. So let's get to the articulation on this guy now, because there's quite a bit, but we do have to move some things around due to kibble. So moving the towers up, you do get a swivel joint here at the head, which can go all the way around due to transformation, which is nice. We do have some up and down movement here and a nice clicking system for the neck joint. We do have opening and closing on the jaw, like I said before, so there's that. For the shoulders, we do have some ratcheting joints, but they're very weak, very quiet, but they do get as much play as you want, as you can see. We do have single jointed elbows. You do get 90 degrees of play. You do have hinges at the hand as well. The claws are hinged as well. The thumb is at a hinge as well. There's also some nice ratcheting joints to the hips that can go around a complete 360, as you can see, with no disturbance whatsoever of any breaking joints. Do have some nice inward and outward movement with one click. There's also an inward and outward movement this way with one click. We do have single jointed knees, which does get 90 degrees of play. And the last bit of articulation, you can see, nice ankle rocking pivot at the feet. Pretty cool, very loud and kind of fragile to tell you the truth, so be very careful with that. And if you want to consider this articulation as well, the heel support here, yeah. I don't know why I call it heel support. I don't know what else to call these, but the original G1 figure had those as well. So yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, I've also forgot that the tail also has articulation, but it's not much. You only get one click each side. So there's that for the locking position for ramp. And this would also be for the dinosaur mode. So there you go. There is no in between. There's no other way to pose this tail, but you still get some really nice poses out of this guy because he's not really top heavy at all or back heavy. As a matter of fact, I'll show you real quickly. Get him to lunge forward just a little bit, like so. Maybe he's like, I don't know, getting ready to attack one of the Autobots that he's looking down at or something, but as you can see, the tail's still sticking up in the air. He's got no problem holding his own weight. And if you wanted to, you can also split the legs out, work with the heels here, give him more of a more dynamic look. So there's that. Turn the head just a little bit, flip it up just a little bit more, and if you wanted to, open the horn, and yeah, see, pretty cool, very menacing, very awesome Titan figure. But that's basically it for anything that this figure can really do, except for maybe one more thing. So I'll go ahead and open up his jaw, and I'll let you get a good look at this. Hopefully you can see this. If not, well, I'll readjust the camera to a place where you can see it. Okay, so I'm back behind the camera for this little feature here. So open up his jaw, as it's promoted on the back of his packaging. He has this gigantic hole here where he can eat all the Titan Masters that he can so fill up in. And that's basically 10 to 20 max on both storages. There's two storages, one floor, and there's a second floor, which unfortunately none of the Titan Masters can actually go into. With that said, when I bring this down here so you can get a good look at what's going on here, if I don't remove this section here, because you really need this to open this hatch. Well, that kind of worked. So, folding down the hatch here, as you can see, like I was telling you, there's two floors, but unfortunately there's no hole here. So, the Titan Masters will always be on top here. You can get maybe 10, 20 max up in this area. You might be able to get like an additional 5 or 10 here down below, well, depending on how these are actually sitting. Maybe flat, maybe you can get a little more. I know it's been tested by POG, but I don't have any Titan Masters to really test at this time, and I don't feel like taking every single Titan Master head off of my Transformer figures from Titan's Return. It would take too much time and not worth the effort. So, anyway, once again, just to show you, put him inside, there he is. And if you want to store them away, go ahead. I mean, simple enough, like so. And here's a good look at some of the sticker applications going on here. So there's that. These were very hard to get in this position in perfection as best as I could, but hey, took some time, 4 hours each night, 2 nights in a total. So you know, as it is, I like to take my time on sticker applications, but I really wish I didn't have to put stickers on him. I would have preferred if all this here was actually imprinted on the figure, but whatever, it is what it is. So, yeah, outside of that, that's really it for Trypticon. There's not much else to really say here, so I'll give you one last good look at him as much as I can here, up close and personal, so you can see all the stickers, all the paint application that is on this figure, which really isn't much, but the color scheme is definitely G1. This figure is awesome, and I definitely recommend him to everyone. But, having said that, do you really have to pay the effort of $150 to own this figure? In all honesty, yeah, because he's truly worth that much, even if he doesn't have any electronic features, which is something that he's really missing and takes away Titan quality on this figure, to tell you the truth. But then again, Devastator doesn't have any electronic features either, and he's considered a Titan class figure as well. So I guess the Decepticons are going to be lacking thereof, and the Autobots get the more positive attention when it comes to this line. But with that said, not to take anything away from this guy, QC issues aside, he is very awesome. I wouldn't go through the extent of having to purchase him off of eBay or to find someone that's selling him for a higher price than what he is at retail. So if you can find him, go ahead and pick him up. If you haven't seen him yet, rest assured he's coming very soon. He'll be popping up at your Toys R Us stores in no time. I've seen a lot of toy hunting videos that it is on YouTube lately this week, and lots of people have seen Trypticon in massive quantities. He's there left and right all over the place. You just have to look hard. Again, if he's not showing up yet, he will be soon. He's not going to be that hard to find. He's not going to be that expensive unless you decide to go with the scalper prices on eBay, which I say you shouldn't because you will regret that. He's not worth that much, but as 150 as a whole, it's definitely worth the pickup and a good look at. So that's going to be it for this video review, guys. Thank you for sticking around for this thing. I know it was long, but it's so much to talk about it with this guy. He's so awesome, so cool, so many features for what it is. Could use a little more. Maybe could have gone back to the factory and had another look at in some of the areas, but outside of that, I know Hasbro has already been notified about this, and so you might want to contact them if you're having any trouble with yours. Fortunately, I don't have that problem yet. So that's going to be it. I've got nothing else to say. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So questions and comments, you know what to do. Hit it down below in the comment section of the video. If you like today's video review, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button to see other video reviews similar to the one you're seeing here today, with more Transformers Titans Return coming very shortly to this channel. Until then, this is your King Redis Power signing off, saying thank you very much for watching.